Kelly House. Please direct your attention to Chief Alex McKay for tonight's landing note.
Hello, and welcome inside the home of our Canucks. Tonight's game is taking place on the unceded ancestral lands of the Mattapui and Samak tribes and its people. My name is Yamati Mattapui. My English name is Alice McKay. I am the chief and the spokesperson of the Mattapui First Nation. Mattapui's love and passion for our lands has never diminished. Even through immense tragedies, we have stayed strong and true to our deep roots. And now, right here, it's time for all of us to come together and show the same love and passion for our home team. On three, let's say, go Canucks, go. 1, 2, 3.
Now, please rise if you can, remove your hats and join us in a moment of silence to honor the victims and survivors of the residential schools. Every child matters. Thank you. And now please welcome Sumas First Nation Councilor Chris Silver to sing the Hey Tulak family song. Would Tyler Myers and Oliver Bjorkstrand join us at center ice for a ceremonial face-off?
Okay. It's possible that I'll be putting a break after the Anthers have started here. So just, I'll be under the table, and you kill everything else except me.
Thank you, Tyler and Oliver, and thank you to all of tonight's honored guests. Now, please join Lauren West for the singing of the Star Spangled Banner and O Canada.
How much do I pay this out?
just talking on the floor.
Yeah. Well, trying not to pick. Center, Vancouver Canucks and the Seattle Kraken, and the puck is down in the 5th game of the preseason for both of these clubs. Canucks in blue going from left to right. The Kraken in white skating from right to left. The puck is dumped deep into the Vancouver zone. Cleared from behind the goal, and Will Borgen goes back to it in his own end for Seattle. Borgen behind the goal of Joey Decourt, starting tonight for the visitors from south of the line. Borgen tries a pass to his own line, taken by Shane Wright. He turned it over to Dakota Joshua, who dumps it back into the Seattle end. Brendan Batchelor and Dan Riccio with you tonight. Glad to be with you from the Fraser Valley. As Jamie Oleksiak takes it behind his own goal for Seattle. And the Kraken will break out. He gives it to Yamamoto, right wing to center. Dumped it deep into the Vancouver zone. Tyler Myers back to the puck. Played it free behind the goal for Anthony Beauvillier. Quick outlet pass up the near side for Pius Suter. Meanwhile, Tyler Myers was taken down behind the play by Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Plays allowed to continue, though. Canucks set up in the Seattle zone. Kuzmenko left wing, tried a centering pass, tipped off a stick, came to Brandon Tanev, who skates left wing to center and dumps it into the Vancouver zone. Cole McWard back to the puck, mishandled it under pressure from Bellemare, but got it to the far corner for Brisebois. He funnels it up the wall to Beauvillier, and he chops it off the wall and out to center ice.
See the Kraken forecheck already giving the Canucks problems, just like it did a week ago in Seattle between these two clubs.
Kraken with a foray across the Vancouver line, shot off the right wing by Cole Lind. The former Canuck was tipped wide of the net, battle for it in the near corner. McWard after it, lost it to Lind, plays to the left point for Riker Evans. Evans cycles it to the inboards, comes around to the right wing side. Gustav Olofsson pinches in for the line. But lost the puck at the corner, and Niels Höglander slams it off the glass and out to center. As he did so, he was hit by Max McCormick. Puck at the Seattle blue line. Besser after it. Knocked down in a battle with Andrew Podorowski, rather. Say that 5 times fast. Now here's John Hayden in the slot with a quick wrist shot, and Philip Hronek tips it over the glass and out of play. 2:12 into a scoreless first period. The Canucks and the Kraken in Abbotsford.
This Kraken team, it's not the roster they're going to start the opening night with, Batch, but they've come out here and have laid about 3 or 4 big hits already on the Canucks, just laying the body, playing heavy, and really inflicting some pressure on the Canucks early on.
Face off to the right of DeSmith in the Vancouver zone, controlled by the Kraken. Alexiak tried a shot left point. It was blocked, comes to Borgen on the right wing side, and he rims it behind the net. Comes all the way around to the left wing wall. Alexiak chips it down low. Hronek plays behind his own goal for Soucy. Up the far boards, where it's battled out of the zone by Arshdeep Bains and then cleared back in offside against Seattle.
This is similar to what we saw last week between these two clubs. Canucks, they only mustered 17 shots in that game last week against Seattle, and a lot of it was because they weren't breaking out of their own end cleanly, and even the first few opportunities they've had here tonight, no clean breakouts for the Canucks. You're going to want to see them start to do that as the game progresses.
Particularly from the players that you would expect to be on the NHL roster, or at least on the bubble. Like this line that's out there right now, Oman, Joshua, and Studnicka. Kraken have it in their own zone. Borgen passes to center. And it's brought in across the Vancouver line by John Hayden on the left wing. Hayden on the back end, clears it behind the net. Taken to the end boards by Marian Studenic. Back to Alexiak, steps into a drive from the line, blocked from close range by Studnicka. Puck goes behind the net. Cameron Hughes after it on the end boards, pinned to the wall by Christian Wolanin. Wolanin had a lot of success inside this building last year. The reigning Eddie Shore Award winner is the AHL Defenseman of the Year. Behind the plate, we've got a scrap. Tyler Myers has the gloves off with John Hayden. Hayden trying to come around with the right hand. Myers using his size to try and manipulate the situation, not throwing punches. Doesn't really look like Myers wants any part of this fight. Hayden gets the left hand free, landed a couple of short punches. Myers grabs on, and the linesman will get in and separate them an early tilt. Just 3:09 into the first period. No score between the Canucks and the Kraken.
Well, Myers has had an interesting start here. He got taken down behind the play a couple of shifts ago, and it's just seemed like the Kraken have been going after him. Interesting in this fight, though, Myers was just kind of holding Hayden back, trying not to. He may have had an opportunity to get the right hand going, but Myers just really didn't want to lay the lumber down on John Hayden for whatever reason.
1 week to the regular season, you probably don't want to get injured in a fight in a preseason game, so you understand it from a veteran like Myers, who we of course expect to play in the NHL this year, as opposed to John Hayden, who might be fighting for his life in terms of trying to earn a roster spot in Seattle.
It's never fun going bare hand on helmets in one of those fights, or visor for that matter. It could lead to some troubles. So Tyler Myers elects not to throw a punch, but he'll take the 5-minute major anyhow.
Kraken win the neutral zone face-off, and Jacob Megna dumps it in behind the Vancouver net. His brother, former Canuck Jason Megna, hit the waiver wire today, as Cole McWard skates right wing to center and dumps it into the Seattle end. Canucks looking to set up in the Kraken zone. But Oliver Bjorkstrand gets it loose and banks it off the wall and out to center. Guillaume Brisebois back to the puck, knocks it free for Cole McWard. McWard chased down by Shane Wright, turned it over to Bjorkstrand. Plays back to the line. Long wrist shot was fanned on by Fleury for the point. And the Canucks clear it into Kraken territory and get a wholesale change as a result.
Yeah, Shane Wright, the big draft pick for Seattle a couple of seasons ago, off to a good preseason start for this Kraken team, and we're getting to see him play as a first-line center here tonight.
One thing you wonder when you look at the Kraken is they lost some of their depth pieces that provided scoring down their lineup from their playoff run last year, but will they be able to fill some of those positions with some of their young talent like Shane Wright, for example? Yeah,
it's an interesting way. I mean, you're an expansion team, so now 2 years in, well, this being their third year, they're just starting to get some of their drafted talent really into the organization.
Here's Kuzmenko to Pius Suter, driving the Seattle goal, stopped in tight by Decord. It was a great move by Kuzmenko, a spinorama play to avoid Brandon Tanev at the blue line and set up Suter, who cut to the goal out of the right corner but couldn't jam it home. Now Kuzmenko onto the puck at his own line. Winds his way to center, feeds up the right wing for Aatu Ratu. Across the Kraken blue line, he dumps it behind the net. Nearly 5 minutes gone, first period. No score, Vancouver and Seattle. The Canucks out shooting the Kraken 1-0. McCormick, right wing at center. Dumps it behind the Vancouver goal. DeSmith out of the net. Rims it around the near side. Niels Höglander picks it up on the boards. Tipped it to the blue line. It was initially held in by Cole Lind, but Christian Molanen gets it, passes to center for Ratu, and he'll tip it deep into Seattle territory. Jamie Alexiak behind his own net. Threw it up the near side for Podorowski. Cleared it to center. Now he'll skate onto it himself. Tried to chop it deep into the Vancouver zone, but fired it into the Canuck bench instead. And we'll have a neutral zone face-off upcoming.
It was interesting there. The Canucks trying to do a little bit cleaner on their breakouts, and Wolanin had a good play coming through the neutral zone. Ratu tips it into the end zone, into the offensive zone. Canucks got to be a little bit quicker on the forecheck if they're going to disrupt the Seattle Kraken from breaking out of their own end and really start to tilt the ice back the other way.
Decord out of his goal to handle as the Canucks dumped it into the Seattle zone. Studenic on the near side clears it out to center. Brandon Tanev chips it to the Vancouver line. Took a hit from Arshdeep Bains for his troubles. And the puck is cleared to center. Tanev recovers it again, drops it back into his own zone for Jacob Megna. Megna goes D to D to the far side for Fleury. Throws it up the right wing. Puck is chopped in deep by Cameron Hughes. Canucks will try to break out deep in the zone. Niels Oman back to it in the near corner under pressure from Hughes and Studenic. Lost the puck, held in by Evans, left point over to the right side. Long one-timer chopped wide of the goal by Olofsson. Now Oman on the side wall, able to pass left wing to center for Arshdeep Bains. Back to Niels Oman, right wing into the Seattle zone. Low shot was partially tipped by Evans and then directed to the corner by Decord. Gustav Olofsson with the puck behind his own goal for Seattle, near side Riker Evans. He'll feed it to center. Tolvanen passed it in across the Vancouver blue line, but Bjorkstrand couldn't settle it. Kraken have to regroup in neutral ice. Oliver Bjorkstrand drops to Shane Wright. He's stripped to the puck by Pius Suter. Nice play at his own line. Canucks have possession again. Hronek try to pass up the left wing. It tips off a stick in deep. And Will Borgen behind the goal cleared it around the far side. Puck was met in the middle and cleared out of the zone by Alexiak. Chopped back in by Hronek, who then breaks up a stretch pass as Alexiak tried to spring Tolvanen in on goal. Good awareness from Philip Hronek to intercept. Now the Canucks on the forecheck. Beauvillier, left wing corner in the Seattle zone, overskated the puck. Alexiak's after it. Can't get it out as Ratu plays it back in deep for Beauvillier in the left corner. Spinning away from Yamamoto. Cycles it around to the right point. McWard blew a tire trying to hold into the line, and the puck rolls all the way back into the Vancouver end.
Yeah, McWard just a little trip over the blue line there. Got to watch out for it every now and again.
Nearing the 8-minute mark, first period, no score. The Canucks and the Kraken. Brisebois back to it, far corner, clears near side for McWard, and now the Canucks are out to center. Here's Besser, left wing, across the Seattle line. Besser dumps it behind the net. Höglander was there, couldn't come up with the puck. Belmar trying to clear the zone. Lost it to Yamamoto, now left wing to center for Megna, and he'll dump it behind the Canuck net. Susi on the far boards. Clears it ahead for Brock Besser. He's tied up along the wall by Pierre-Edouard Belmar. Puck caught up in skates. Officials urging the players to move it. Besser seems content to have it pinned along the wall. And now it's played free to the line. Long bouncing shot off the stick of Cale Fleury, went wide of the net. Picked up on the left wing by McCormick. Max McCormick protecting it along the boards. Rims it to the corner. And a pass in front. Podorowski wired it wide of the net. After a nice setup by Cole Lind down low. Now McCormick feeds the point. Olofsson low shot. Blocked off the stick of Susi, and Besser chops it out to center ice. Riker Evans knocked it down to the red line. Kraken tried to transition quickly. Cole Lind up the left wing for McCormick into the Vancouver zone. Being hounded to the back check. Got it to the line. Riker Evans held it. Behind the goal for Cole Lind. Lind to the right wing corner. Backhand centering feed deflected away off the stick of Studnicka. But the Canucks are still unable to clear the zone. Now Olofsson, right wing, low shot, went wide of the net, past the stick side of the goaltender DeSmith. Battle for the puck in the near corner. Won by Hronek, cleared it up the boards. Again, the Kraken hold into the line. This time it was Studenic keeping it alive. Dumps it into the right corner for Evans, pinching down the wall. Canucks being hemmed in by the Kraken here. Cameron Hughes gets it behind the net. Backhand centering feed was blocked, rolls into the slot, but is picked up by Neil Zoman. Tried to clear the zone. Baines knocked it out of midair by accident, and it stays in the zone as a result. Now Yamamoto, left corner. Back to the line for Alexiak. To the top of the right circle. Shot for the high slot by Eli Tolvanen, went wide of the net. Hronek battling along the boards. Goes behind the goal for Soucy. He throws it up the far side. Baines settles. Is hit by two Kraken. Still can't clear the zone. Canucks have been hemmed in here for minutes. And finally it's cleared to center. And 3 of the 5 skaters are able to get off on a change.
Seattle doesn't get much, but still can't do that.
Tolvanen with a shot off the right wing. Kicked out by DeSmith. Archdeep Baines gets the loose puck. Passes up the right wing. Linus Karlsson deflected it over the glass and out of play. 9:41 left in the first, no score. The Canucks and the Kraken. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on the new Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Credits Canucks Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Own your home. Alpine Credits can get your loan approved. Alpine Credits, homeowners get approved. Visit alpinecredits.ca. Brendan Batchelor and Dan Riccio with you tonight at Abbotsford Center. 9:41 left in the first period. No score. Vancouver and Seattle. And in spite of the fact that the Kraken have had most of the zone time here, Reach, it's still shots 2-0 in favor of Vancouver.
Well, the Canucks, they've had trouble getting out of their own end, but they are really defending the middle of the ice well in their own end to this point.
Here's Beauvillier on the forecheck into the Seattle zone. Forced a turnover from Fleury, but couldn't direct it towards the goaltender, Decor. Tyler Myers holds in right point. Plays to the right wing corner for Kuzmenko. He'll carry behind the net. Knocked off the puck by Hayden Fleury. Comes to Shane Wright. He turned it over in front of his own goal. Tipped right back on by Pius Suter, but Decor was there to make the save and cover up as the Canucks generate some forechecking pressure, and it results in a couple of opportunities. First, Beauvillier in to force the turnover, and then Suter is the beneficiary of the second opportunity.
Yeah, Beauvillier has been the one with rockets in his skates tonight. He's the one that's getting in hard on the forecheck, making some things happen in the offensive zone for the Vancouver Canucks. You like to see that from Beauvillier. We know the coach going back to last year, Rick Tocchet would say, I just want to see Beauvillier play more of a north-south game. That's the type of thing, what he just showed right there, that's what he'd like to see more of from Anthony Beauvillier.
Face off to the right of Decord, won by the Kraken. Evans passes up the left wing. Brandon Tanev lifts it into the right corner in the Vancouver zone. And in quickly on the forecheck was Pierre-Edouard Bellemare to negate the icing call. Puck bounces loose left corner. Yamamoto drops it to Brandon Tanev. Clears around to the right point for Olofsson. Aatu Ratu fighting for it on the half wall. Yamamoto in there too. Ratu came away with it. Bellemare holds in, carries down the right wing into the corner. Pushed to the boards by Guillaume Brisebois. They'll dig away for the puck. Ratu knocks down Tanev. Squirts loose to the right point, but Cole Lind holds in for Bellemare. In the corner, right wing side. Lost it to McWard behind the net, banked it up the near side, or the far side, I should say, and Höglander tipped it out to center ice.
That was a good play by McWard there. You got the bank pass to Höglander, who just mishandled it off the boards.
McCormick back in on the forecheck. Lost the puck. Dakota Joshua lifts it off the glass and out to center, but it deflects into the Vancouver bench. 8:12 left in the first period. Scoreless game. The Canucks and the Kraken. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Thanks for joining us along the Sportsnet Radio Network tonight and on the stream on Canucks.com if you're watching the game. We appreciate you being along with us. Let us know where you're listening or watching from. You can reach me on social media at Batch Hockey. He is at Dan Riccio or at Dan Riccio _ on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Our flagship station is at Sportsnet 650. As the Kraken won a face-off in the Vancouver zone, shot was deflected over the glass and out of play, and they'll drop it in again to the right of the goaltender, Casey DeSmith.
No clean shots. That's one thing that the Canucks have been good at, not giving up any clean looks to the Seattle Kraken, but their breakouts have still been very troublesome tonight against this always heavy forechecking Seattle Kraken team.
Canucks control off the draw. Hronek lifts it off the glass out to center, and here's Studnicka with a burst of speed to the Seattle line. Drops on the right wing for Joshua, dumps it behind the net. Studnicka missed it. It rolls in front. Joshua driving the net. Collided with Decord, but couldn't get the puck, and the Kraken clear it out of the zone. Joshua lays a bump on Podorowski in front of the benches. Dropped it back to his own line for Susie. Across to Hronek. He'll feed it up the left wing. Studnicka dumps it in, and Decord leaves the net. Got it to Alexiak. He'll clear it down the ice. A slow roller is ruled not to be icing, and Tyler Myers starts from behind his own net. Myers through the center ice circle, gains the red line, throws a backhander into the Kraken end. Max Sasson on the forecheck after the puck, but it rolls to the side of the goal. And Joey Decord smothers it for the whistle.
Canucks playing with a little bit more speed through the neutral zone there and getting some pucks deep on the Kraken and starting to try to force some turnovers. We saw that's how the first big chance of the period fell to Pius Suter, and then Dakota Joshua just got one. That's the way the Canucks are going to be able to generate some more offense tonight against this defensively stout Seattle team.
Face off in the left circle in the Seattle zone. Initially won by the Canucks, but John Hayden gets it left wing to center. And Marian Studenic fights it in across the Vancouver blue line. Christian Wolanin behind his own net. Try to bank pass left wing to center. Knocked down and dumped back in by Cale Fleury. Canucks will have to try and break out again. Wolanin. Left wing to center for Sasson. Clears it into the Seattle zone. He gets in quickly on the forecheck. Jacob Megna back to the puck behind the net, but Linus Karlsson plays it free to the left point for Brisebois. Down the boards for Baines. He'll chip it left wing corner. Karlsson is pinned to the wall by Cale Fleury, but keeps the puck. Feeds the line for Brisebois. Over to the right point for McWard. Long shot blocked by Studenic. McWard got it back. Left side Brisebois. His shot was blocked by Hayden. from the left point. Then Beauvillier is taken down by Megna in a battle for the puck. And the Kraken clear to center. 6:25 remaining first period. No score. Vancouver and Seattle. Canucks out shooting the Kraken 3-0 in the hockey game. Make sure to stay tuned for Canucks Central at the intermission with Satyar Shah and Vic Nazar coming up right after the opening 20 minutes. Decord out of his goal to handle. Left it in the left side corner for Hayden Fleury. Fleury got it ahead for Olofsson. He'll pass right wing to center, and Eeli Tolvanen dumps it into the Vancouver end. Cleared out of the zone by Carson Soucy. Riker Evans, left wing at center, lifts it back in deep. Soucy behind the net. Tried an outlet pass up the wall for Hronek. But he's chased back deep by Shane Wright and then leaves it on the half wall for Anthony Beauvillier. Beauvillier got it to Pius Suter, cleared to center. Riker Evans dumped it back behind the Canuck goal. Hronek cleared it up the left wing wall out to center. The Kraken are back in possession of their own line. Bjorkstrand ran into the linesman. Gave the puck away to Hronek. Passes right wing for Besser into Seattle territory. Shoots from wide of the boards. Decord kicked it out. Rebound in front. Rolling puck nearly fell to Höglander, but he couldn't jam it goalwards. And now Besser has to hustle over to the near boards. Beaten to the puck by Riker Evans, and he'll clear out to center. Brandon Tanev breaks up a pass at the Vancouver line. Left wing. That was going to be a clean chance in on goal for Yamamoto. But the Kraken are offside of the Vancouver line. 5:04 left in the first period. No score. The Canucks and the Kraken. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on the new Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet Radio Network. Make sure to get your tickets for tonight's online 50-50 draw. Go to abbotsford.canucks.com/5050 to enter. Ticket sales close at the end of the second intermission. Must be 19 plus and located in BC at the time of purchase to play. Know your limit. Play within it. 5 minutes left, first period. No score. The Canucks and the Kraken from Abbotsford Center. Brendan Batchelor and Dan Riccio with you. Cole McWard back to the puck on the end boards in his own zone. Lost it. Now it's cleared around the near side and an arm in the air from the referee deep in the zone. Guillaume Brisebois, the guilty party for hooking, and the Kraken get the first power play of the hockey game.
Yeah, Brisebois doesn't like this call too much. I think he thinks it's a little bit soft, but anytime you get the stick on the man in the defensive zone, you're probably going to draw the awareness of the official, and it's going to be our first power play of the night. We'll see how the Canucks penalty kill, which has been really good here in preseason and setting themselves up well for the regular season. We'll see how they do tonight.
They've given up 3 goals on 17 power play opportunities for their opponents to this point. Running just above 82%. Meanwhile, Seattle's power play has been good in the preseason as well. 5 for 15, and they win the faceoff. Tolvanen left circle. Floated it to the side of the goal. Yamamoto couldn't settle it, and Tolvanen gets it back on the left wing half wall. To the top of the point for Riker Evans. Back to Eeli Tolvanen.
left wing. Tried a shot, blocked by Soucy, got his own rebound, threw it to the goal. DeSmith directed it to the far corner. Now Evans, left wing for Tolvanen. Back to Evans, once again to Tolvanen, left wing. Evans top of the point, wrist shot blocked in front, rebound rolls wide of the net. Hronek at the stick, knocked out of his hands. He wanted a penalty as it actually broke, was slashed, but the officials won't oblige him. Canucks clear it all the way down the ice anyway, and they can get a change on the PK. Evans from his own line, watched by Pius Suter. Drops the puck for Yamamoto, trailing the play, the former Edmonton Oiler. Banked it across the Vancouver blue line. But it rolls out to center, and Evans takes it at his own line. Far side, Bjorkstrand slaps it in deep. Myers threw it in front of his own goal. Risky play, but it paid off. He got it loose to Pius Suter, and he sends Jack Studnicka up the right wing into the Seattle zone. He'll carry into the corner, try to pin it up against the boards and kill as much time as possible, but Studnicka played it free for Evans. And he'll control behind his own goal with just under 40 seconds remaining in the Seattle power play.
Studnicka showing how he could be a little bit more versatile for the Canucks roster this year, maybe be trusted in some penalty kill roles.
Podorowski broke up a play with Oman at his own line, knocked the stick out of Oman's hands. He wanted a penalty too. The officials let play go on, and now Dakota Joshua fights it deep into the Seattle zone. Studnicka with the puck trying to escape, was hit by Joshua, left it for Evans, and now Podorowski passes right wing to center. And Cole Lynn carries across the Vancouver line, winds to the left wing boards, chips it into the corner. Brisebois about to be let out of the box, but here's a chance in front, and the Kraken score. Top of the crease, Casey DeSmith couldn't hold it out as the pass came quickly out of the left corner, and it's potted by Podorowski to give the Kraken a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, this was an interesting decision from Filip Hronek behind his own net. He has got his back to the front of the net, and he throws a backhand out towards Casey DeSmith's crease. There's no teammate there to collect it, and it's an absolute gift for Podorowski to be able to get that and put it right behind Casey DeSmith for the first goal of the game.
First of the preseason for Andrew Podorowski, 29-year-old Williamsville, New York native, who has 4 career NHL games to his name. Has had a lot of success in the AHL recently. Went to back-to-back Calder Cup finals, winning the AHL championship 2 years ago in Chicago, and then losing in the final with Seattle's AHL affiliate in Coachella Valley last year. Canucks in the Seattle zone, long shot from the right point by Myers was deflected over the glass and out of play. That will not count as a power play goal. It came just 1 second after Brisebois had been released from the box.
Yeah, and it's you wonder if maybe Filip Hronek got one of those plays where an opponent calls for the puck as if they are Filip Hronek's teammate, and he just gets duped there, because it just really didn't make a ton of sense for a player that usually makes strong decisions on the ice to make a play like that.
Myers with the puck at his own blue line. Played it up the right wing. Beauvillier tipped it in deep, and Jacob Megna goes back to it behind his own net. For Fleury, behind the net. Threw it up the wall for John Hayden. Goes rink wide left wing for Brandon Tanev, and he chips it deep into the Vancouver end. He's pinned to the boards by Cole McWard in the corner. Pius Suter digs it loose, skates behind his own goal. Floats it up the boards for Beauvillier. He'll clear it to center, batted out of midair by Kuzmenko across the Seattle line. And Jacob Megna with it. Funnels it up the left wing wall for Brandon Tanev. Came back to Megna. Now he goes right wing to center for John Hayden, who chips it in deep, and the Kraken get a change with 90 seconds remaining in this first period. Max Sasson throws it up the left wing. Arshdeep Bains tipped it in. Icing's waved off. Good job by Linus Karlsson on the forecheck. Recovered the puck, but then was stripped by Jamie Alexiak. And Shane Wright springs Tolvanen left wing to the Vancouver line. Eeli Tolvanen protecting on the backhand. Back to Alexiak. Left point. Watch through traffic, threw it to the front of the goal. Bjorkstrand wound and fired. DeSmith held it out with the pad. And Soucy will clear it the full length of the ice. This will be icing against the Canucks now into the final minute of the opening period. Kraken lead 1-0 on a goal by Andrew Podorowski.
Shane Wright and Eli Tolvanen really giving the Canucks a little bit of fits here tonight. They play with such speed, and they've got Oliver Bjorkstrand on their wing tonight. Maybe something we see the Kraken start the season with, but it's the speed that's really hurting the Canucks on the forecheck and in these zone entries, and they're getting some real opportunities. Bjorkstrand almost banged one home there.
Scramble face-off. Cleared out of the zone by the Canucks. Then there's a hand pass in neutral ice, and Carson Soucy and Will Borgen have to be separated by the linesman with a bit of a shoving match.
Keeping a close eye on Cole McWard, and he's, with being on the roster bubble, every decision he makes, every play he makes on the ice is going to be under the microscope. So far this first period tonight, I think he's made a couple of really good plays. His gaps at the blue line have been strong. You'd like to see his breakouts be a little bit better, but he's evaded the first forechecker. Sometimes that next play has been the thing that's got him into a little bit of trouble here in this first period.
Soucy with the puck in his own zone. Banks it behind the net for Filip Hronek. Threw it up the wall. It was held in at the left point by Alexiak, but he loses the puck to Jack Studnicka, who winds his way to center. Tried to make a move around Podorowski, but lost the puck, and it deflects high into the Seattle bench. 28 seconds remaining in the opening period tonight in Abbotsford. The Kraken lead the Canucks 1-0.
For Brock Besser, I think we're all looking for him to get back to being something closer to the player we saw in his first season. But what I saw from him Saturday night against Edmonton, he had the 4 assists, was one of the stars of the game. And we almost forget sometimes that Brock can be a really good playmaker as well, not just a goal scorer. So maybe that's something we see from Brock Besser a little bit more of this year.
Riker Evans in his own end for the Kraken, cleared it ahead. Olofsson turned it over at the Vancouver blue line. It was nearly going to be a 2-on-1 in on net for the Canucks. Beauvillier and Kuzmenko cutting to the goal, but the linesman called it offside, and the faceoff will come out.
That one was super, super close. Canucks did a good job of reading that play and creating the turnover at the blue line, but it was a bang-bang play. Wonder if the Canucks were onside. We'll never know.
No video review in the preseason, and certainly none here in Abbotsford.
Well, the Liverpool crew wouldn't get it anyways.
I knew you were going to find a way to bring that up.
Somebody had to.
As the final few seconds of the first period will tick off the clock, and the Canucks find themselves trailing by 1 after 1. Andrew Podorowski with the lone goal of the opening 20 minutes. Canucks outshot Seattle 4-2 in the first stanza.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a contrast to what we saw 12 months ago here at the Abbotsford Center when the Canucks played the Oilers, and it was a high-event game. A lot of offense going at both ends of the rink. This was a low-event first period, something we are probably going to see more of through the course of the season. I still think Rick Tocchet would like to see his team be able to deal with the Seattle forecheck a little bit better, create better breakouts out of their own end.
Welcome back to Abbotsford Center. Brendan Batchelor and Dan Riccio with you as we get set to go to the second period. Canucks trail the Kraken 1-0 after one, even though they outshot Seattle 4-2 in a low event first period, Reach.
Who am I to criticize the in-arena DJ, but I'm not sure why Lil Jon's shots wasn't playing. We could use some more shots in this game. It's just 4-2 for the Canucks through one period, and low event is the right way to describe it. Although the Kraken have seemingly had a lot more zone time than the Vancouver Canucks, and I feel like that's something the Canucks would like to change here as the game goes on and tilt the ice more into the Kraken's end.
Teams will switch ends. If you're joining us on Canucks.com and things seem backwards, it's because our booth is on the opposite side of the ice from the camera. So for those of you listening on radio, Canucks in blue going from right to left, the Kraken in white going from left to right, and Shane Wright wins the faceoff to get us underway in the second period, back into his own zone for Seattle.
The penultimate period of the penultimate preseason game.
That's two.
That's two right there. I'm already getting chirped for not getting enough penultimate into the first period of the game after calling it out on Twitter earlier.
I'm always here for a good use of the word penultimate. Kraken trying to break out of their own end. Oliver Bjorkstrand threw it to center. Carson Soucy tried to chip it to the Seattle line. Lost it to Alexiak, who dumped it into Vancouver territory, and Soucy takes it back into his own end. Goes D to Hronek, far boards, right wing to center for Neil Zoman. He'll wire it off the wall and in deep. Decord out of his own net for Jacob Magna. Try to pass to center. It was knocked down by Pius Suter. After a rolling puck in his own zone, couldn't settle it. Now Kuzmenko gets it. Try to feed to center. Knocked down by Brandon Tanev, and the Kraken have the puck. Tanev to Magna in his own zone. Then for Belmar, lifts it high in the air. Right wing for Brandon Tanev. The former Surrey Eagle takes it deep into the Vancouver zone. Yamamoto battling for the puck. Beauvillier there as well, as is Pierre-Edouard Belmar. I also understand, by the way, this stream is being seen on Kraken.com. So hello to all the fans joining us from south of the 49th parallel.
It's the I-5 rivalry.
As the puck is rolled towards the net of Decord. Chip to the end boards, and guess what? Here's another heavy board battle with the puck tied up in skates. It's been that kind of night.
I don't know if they're wasting clock or trying to get into mid-season form. It's one of the two.
I've got a guess as to which one it might be. Magna behind his own goal, waiting as the Kraken complete a change. Passed it up the near side. It's thrown back in behind the goal. Cale Fleury got it to the far boards. Max McCormick, after it, can't clear the zone, has to chop it behind his own net again. And Oct.04 on the forecheck forces a turnover. Plays it into the high slot. Long shot by McWard. He couldn't get it to go. Pass to Cord, and the Kraken skate to center with numbers, and Fleury chops it in wide of the net of Casey DeSmet. Cole Lynn hit into the end boards by Besser. Got it to the left point for Riker Evans. Now to the right side. Olofsson, one-time drive, snared by DeSmith. Just the third save he's had to make in nearly 23 minutes of action, but he was equal to the task and holds on.
Exactly the type of thing that the Canucks want to see more of, winning some battles in the offensive zone, the defensive zone, everywhere around the ice. That's exactly what Aatu did in the offensive zone, to win a battle behind the net, create the chance as he gets the puck out to the point where McWard gets a shot on. And Joey Decord spills that rebound into the slot. He's done that a little bit tonight. Canucks got to be able to get in there into the blue paint and be aware that the goaltender for the Kraken is spilling out some rebounds tonight.
Puck is cleared to the Seattle blue line. Battle for the puck in the neutral zone, and Marion Studenic clears it back into the Vancouver end. Carson Soucy in his own zone. Behind the goal for Filip Hronek. A stretch pass right wing to center. Linus Karlsson was tied up, but icing's waved off as Arshdeep Bains was taken down, trying to get in on the forecheck, and nearly collided heavily with Decord, who was able to jump out of the way. Soucy back to the puck in his own end. Rims it behind the goal, held into the right point by Alexiak. He'll funnel it for Studenic behind the net, tried to center for John Hayden going to the goal. That's broken up. Sasson got it to the line. Cameron Hughes holds in for John Hayden, right point. Rims it behind the net. Jamie Alexiak deep in the zone, battling with Soucy for the puck. Sasson in to get it. Soucy turned it over in front to Bjorkstrand, deep to the net, to the backhand. But couldn't get all of it. DeSmith might have got a piece of that too to hold it out. Now Bjorkstrand to the high slot for Shane Wright. Right circle Alexiak. Stick handling along the blue line. Again to Bjorkstrand, right circle. Threw it towards the goal. He had Borgen sneaking down from the left point, but he couldn't tip it on target. Canucks need to get out of their zone here. Soucy tried a no-look pass behind the net, intended for Hronek, broken up by Wright. Soucy gets it back in the corner. Goes ahead to Hronek, and he'll play it on the backhand up the right wing for Arshdeep Bains, who skates to center. Lifts it in deep, and the Canucks can get a wholesale change.
The communication between Philip Hronek and Carson Soucy just hasn't really been there tonight. We saw it come together on the Seattle Kraken's first goal, and we see it cause problems there for the Canucks.
Here's Bjorkstrand, right wing into the Vancouver zone. Attempted a centering pass for Shane Wright going to the net. It was broken up nicely by Wolanin. Eli Tolvanen with it, left wing half boards in the Vancouver zone. Tried to cycle it down the wall, gave it away to Tyler Myers. He'll lift it out to the red line. Puck is cleared in deep by Jack Studnicka. Dakota Joshua in quickly on the forecheck. Can't come up with the puck. And the Kraken transition again. Yamamoto to center for Belmar. Across the Vancouver line, forced to the boards by Myers. Rims it to the right wing half wall for Brandon Tanev. He's pushed off the puck by Cole McWard. It rolls rink wide for Tyler Myers, and he plays it off the boards and out to center. Jacob Magna back into his own end for Cale Fleury. Once again to Magna, and now out to center for Yamamoto. Almost at the 5-minute mark, second period. Kraken lead the Canucks 1-0. Brandon Tanev, left corner, tried a centering feed intended for Yamamoto, chipped away by Studnicka to the corner. Hughes Suter with it, gets it to Studnicka, and he'll float it out to center. Beauvillier was trying to sneak in behind the defense, but the pass didn't get to him, and he's got to slow up and dump it in. Gustav Olofsson behind his own goal for the Kraken, threw it up the boards. Cole Lind tips it left wing to Max McCormick of the Vancouver blue line. McCormick to the right point for Olofsson, carries it into the corner, pinned to the boards by Brisebois. Soucy gets it free for Suter, and then Kuzmenko cleared only as far as Riker Evans, who dumps it right back in behind the Vancouver net. Soucy up the near boards for Kuzmenko, to center for Anthony Beauvillier, winding right wing to the red line, dumps it in, and Hughes Suter goes after it on the forecheck. Battling with Evans and Olofsson. Evans got it free to Lind, and he'll wind his way to center and play it deep into the right corner in the Vancouver end. McCormick first to it on the forecheck for Evans, left circle, back to McCormick in the corner. Behind the net, John Hayden missed it. Comes to Cameron Hughes in the right wing corner. Hughes to the right point for Alexiak. Back to Hughes. With room into the high slot, tried a shot blocked by Hronek off his stick. It went over the goal. Picked up by Studenic in the left corner. Tried to cycle to Hughes, broken up by Wolanin, and he'll play it off the boards and out to center to relieve the pressure for the Canucks.
Yeah,
and
just a little too easy. Yeah, just a little too easy for the Kraken to win the puck in on the offensive zone. They're just throwing pucks down low and getting to it before any Canuck can get there on the retrieval. That's not something you like to see from this Vancouver team right now.
Hronek cleared it deep into the Seattle zone. Jamie Alexiak back to it on the end boards. Eluded the first couple of forecheckers. Cleared it down the ice into the Vancouver end, but icing is waved off, and Guillaume Brisebois has it behind the goal. Pushed to the end boards by Shane Wright, who did a good job getting in on the forecheck, and a battle ensues behind the Vancouver net. Brisebois gets it free in the corner. Lifts it to center for Max Sasson. Tried to chip it deep into the Seattle end, and the Canucks, or actually the Kraken, are called on a hand pass, I should say. 7:06 elapsed in the second period. It's Seattle 1 and Vancouver nothing. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Own your home. Alpine Credits can get your loan approved. Alpine Credits homeowners get approved. Visit alpinecredits.ca. Neutral zone face-off won by the Canucks. Guillaume Brisebois dumps it into the Seattle zone. We're just past the 7-minute mark, second period. Kraken lead Vancouver 1-0. Eeli Tolvanen with the puck in his own zone. Banks it behind the net. Controlled by Cale Fleury. And now Shane Wright chops it out to center. Tolvanen at the attacking blue line, try to drop pass. Brisebois intercepted. And the Canucks have possession of the puck. Myers passes left wing to the Seattle line for Niels Omar. He'll chip it into the corner and go after it on the forecheck. Jacob Megna back to it, played ahead for Shane Wright. Now to center for Tolvanen, winding into the Vancouver end, dumps it to the right corner. Pressures Soucy on the forecheck. Beauvillier back to help out. Bjorkstrand in the battle too. Beauvillier came away with it, got it to McWard. Nice outlet feed to Pius Suter. Now McWard jumps up in the rush to Suter, back to McWard, trying to split the defense. But he lost it to Olofsson and it rolled into the left wing corner. Beauvillier battling with Evans deep in the zone. Riker Evans did well to clear to the point. McWard holds in left side and funnels it back in behind the net on the backhand. Now here's Beauvillier with a one-timer from the left circle, set up by Kuzmenko from behind the goal, but it deflects out of play. 8:20 elapsed in the second period. It's Seattle 1 and Vancouver 0 tonight in Abbotsford.
If you were looking for Cole McWard to show himself well again here tonight, he seems to be the front runner for the sixth defense spot and play next to Quinn Hughes as a right shot defenseman. I mean, he's played pretty well here tonight, Batch. He's made some good decisions, jumps up in the play there, try to create a numbers game on offense for the Vancouver Canucks. I've liked his decision making here tonight. It's been a good showing from Cole McWard.
Kraken cleared their zone. Wolanin dumps it back in. Jamie Alexiak behind the net. Cleared it around the half wall, trying to get it out of the zone, but it's held in, and it comes to Besser left corner. Back to the line for Wolanin. Christian Wolanin. D to the right point for Tyler Myers. He dumps it left corner. Besser chops it back. Wolanin tried a shot. It hit a body in front and deflected wide of the goal. Brandon Tanev in the corner. Lifts it to center for Yamamoto. Try to drop pass for Belmar. It was in his skates. He missed it. And Atu Ratu dumps it back to the Seattle blue line. Jamie Alexiak. Try to drop pass in front of his own goal. It hit his skate, and Höglander got it free. His centering pass didn't get to the goal mouth, but Besser gets it left corner. Back to Soucy. Now to the right point. Hronek long shot. Decord made the save through some traffic in front and held on.
Yeah, Canucks doing a good job of putting a little bit more pressure on the Kraken defense. It's not often you see the Seattle team be a little bit sloppy with the puck, but they did it on a couple of occasions there. Once in the neutral zone and then once again in their own zone. Canucks get a good opportunity out of it. Höglander's got to do a little bit more to maybe find the trailer in the slot there instead of just throwing the puck to the goal mouth. It almost killed the chance. I'd like to see him take an extra
Quick
step.
shot right off the draw for Max Sasson from the right circle. Ripped it wide of the net of the goaltender Decord. And now Philip Hronek dumps it back into the Seattle zone. Rolling puck came to Sasson left circle. Back to Hronek right point. Long shot. Decord got a piece of it with his arm. With some traffic in front of him again. Now Hronek off the right wing. Was cutting down the boards. Couldn't settle a pass. Doubles back to the line. Left side Soucy. Wrist shot. Tip. They score! Carson Soucy threw it to the goal. And it beats Joey Decord. The Canucks have tied the game at 1 just before the midway mark of the second period.
Canucks needed to start getting some offensive zone time, and that's exactly what happens here. They create the offensive zone time. It goes D to D. Soucy drops down off the left point, and it's Arshdeep Bains causing all kinds of trouble in front of the net for the Seattle Kraken. Excuse me, that's Linus Karlsson. Soucy just throws it there. It's the seeing eye single the Blue Jays never found, and the Canucks get the first goal of the game.
Carson Soucy with his first in Canuck colors, his first of the preseason at 9:42 of the second period to tie the game at 1. The time of the goal is brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for over 50 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. Shot for the right circle by John Hayden in the Vancouver zone. Ripped it wide of the net. Hayden's got it again on the inboards. Carries to the left corner. Watched by Cole McWard. Back to the line for Riker Evans. Stutter step and a wrist shot. It was tipped off a stick into the near corner. Cameron Hughes after it. Digs it free for Studenic behind the goal. Now to the left point for Evans. Cuts middle of the ice. Long shot deflected wide of the goal of DeSmith. Cameron Hughes with it again below the goal line in the Vancouver zone. Turned it over trying to get it out front. Studnicka couldn't clear the zone. Held in by Olofsson. John Hayden played it to Cameron Hughes, who was stripped of the puck by Guillaume Brisebois. He'll go D to Cole McWard. Then for Niels Oman, who clears to center. And Dakota Joshua chips it into Seattle territory. Just over 9 minutes left, second period. A 1-1 tie tonight in Abbotsford. And here's Evans up in the rush for the Vancouver line. Left wing Tolvanen fired wide of the target of Casey DeSmith. Christian Wolanin near corner, hit by Tolvanen. Suter gets it behind the goal to Tyler Myers. There's a stretch pass. Kuzmenko into the Seattle zone. Spinorama move. He's hooked to the ice by Borgen. Lost his footing. Play continues, and the Kraken have numbers back the other way if they hurry, but Bjorkstrand had to settle it in front of the benches and then turned it over to Beauvillier at the Vancouver line. Now Beauvillier on the back check, strips Tolvanen of the puck, try to pass up the right wing. It hopped over Kuzmenko's stick, and it's icing against Vancouver with 8:31 left in the second period, and the game tied at 1.
Kuzmenko trying to wow the crowd with the spinorama move in the offensive zone. As he gets and breaks over the blue line, he tries the spinorama at the top of the right circle, but loses it, and then the chance goes awry, but the Canucks recover well and stop the Kraken from coming down on a counterattack the other way.
Defensive zone draw to the right of DeSmith, won by the Canucks. Tyler Myers lifts it out to center. Slow roller, this will be icing again. And another defensive zone draw upcoming. Make sure to get your tickets for tonight's online 50-50 draw. Go to abbotsford.canucks.com/5050 to enter. Ticket sales close at the end of the second intermission. Must be 19 plus and located in BC at the time of purchase. To play, know your limit. Play within it.
Soucy scores the goal, a revenge game for him against his old Seattle Kraken team. Canucks signing him as a free agent in the offseason. He does have some goal-scoring chops. Scored 10 goals a couple of years ago in his first year with Seattle. We'll see if that comes through for Vancouver, who's needed some goals, more goals from the back end in recent years.
Soucy averaged just above 16 minutes a game with the Kraken during the regular season last year. It'll be interesting to see the role he ends up playing with the Canucks. If he stays on Philip Hronik's pair, then I would imagine at the end of the season he will have played closer to 20 minutes than 16.
We'll have to see how it plays out. This defense by committee has us all wondering exactly how the Canucks plan to deploy their defensemen throughout the course of the 82-game season.
Niels Höglander deep in his own zone, lost the puck. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare mishandled it, and now here's a chance for Pius Suter, left wing, into the Seattle zone, shoots! And he couldn't beat DeCord. It deflected over the glass and out of play. Might have caught the post. And will step aside. 7:38 left in the second. The Canucks and the Kraken are tied at 1. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on the new Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet Radio Network. 7:38 left in the second period. Tonight in Abbotsford, the Canucks and the Kraken are tied at a goal apiece. Brendan Batchelor and Dan Riccio with you on the call this evening. And there'll be a face-off in the Seattle zone. Brock Besser to take the draw opposite Andrew Podorowski, and Podorowski won it back to the corner, allowing Cale Fleury to clear it off the glass and out to center, only as far as Oct.04, who dumped it back in for the Canucks. Joey Decord out of the goal. Cleared it up the wall, but it's found by Fleury. He's got to dump it under pressure behind his own net for Jacob Magna. Played it up the boards to the line, but not out. Held into the right point by Ratu, and now on the third attempt, the Kraken get it to center, and Max McCormick lifts it into the Vancouver zone. McCormick, right wing for Cole Lind. Back to McCormick, trying to settle a rolling puck. Makes a move away from Höglander to the right wing hash marks. Now to Olofsson. Middle of the point, Riker Evans. Wrist shot sailed wide of the goal. Philip Hronek gets it in the corner. Feeds ahead for Niels Höglander. He's hit by McCormick, but swept it out to center, and Carson Soucy, the Vancouver goal scorer, dumps it in from the red line. Decord leaves the blue paint again. Nice outlet pass to Evans. Goes rink wide right wing to center for John Hayden. Hayden with speed into the Vancouver zone. Watched in the corner by Brisebois. Try to pass back to the line. Broken up by Baines. It rolls behind the net, as Hayden got it to Studenic. He's out the left wing side. Back to John Hayden. Centering feed on the backhand. Broken up by Sasson. But then he gave it away to Studenic, who just holds into the blue line for John Hayden. Top of the circle. Passes left wing to Riker Evans. Evans tried a shot that was blocked by McWard. I think it was going wide of the goal anyway. And now Linus Karlsson gets it for the Canucks and passes left wing to center for Arshdeep Baines. Baines forechecking deep in the Seattle zone, battling with Olofsson in the corner. Olofsson looked like he might have got a stick up on Baines, who goes quickly to the Vancouver bench. Canucks trying to set up their cycle. Studenic clears to center. He's run over by Joshua as he did so, and the Canucks will regroup. Max Sasson chops it back in deep. Riker Evans on the far boards. Pushed off the puck by Tyler Myers, who pinched down the wall. Now another heavy board battle ensues. Right wing hash marks in the Seattle end of the ice. Studnicka trying to dig it free for the Canucks. Puck squirts loose to John Hayden in the slot, and he'll lift it off the wall and out to center. Just under 5.5 minutes left, second period. The Canucks and the Kraken tied at 1. Here's Studnicka back in on the right wing. Try to centering feed on the backhand, deflected high in the air. Where's the puck? In the slot. Tolvanen plays it back towards his own goal. Decord wanted to cover up. Then the Kraken try to clear. Hronek holds in right point. Passes left circle. Soucy shoots through traffic. Decord made the save. Rebound for Joshua. He can't jam it home. Dakota Joshua. Back to the right point for Hronek. Left side again. Soucy long drive. Blocked by Tolvanen wide of the net. Joshua off the ricochet on the end boards. Shovels it to the goal. And Decord holds on for the whistle. 1-1 tie with 4:59 left in the second period in Abbotsford. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. .4:59 left in the second period tonight in Abbotsford. The Canucks and the Kraken are tied at 1. Brendan Batchelor and Dan Riccio with you. Make sure to stay tuned For Canucks Central at the intermission with Satyar Shah and Vic Nazar coming up at the end of the second. We'll go to the guys for their instant analysis. Face off in the Seattle zone to the right of goaltender Joey Decord. And the Kraken win it. Will Borgen able to lift it off the glass deep into the Vancouver zone, and Brandon Tanev's first to it on the forecheck in the left wing corner. Tanev fights it free for Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, try to pass back to the blue line that hopped over the stick of Jamie Alexiak, and he'll retreat into his own end after the puck. Alexiak played D-to-D to Borgen, turned it over in front. Here's a chance. Beauvillier and Suter both had whacks at it. Decord held it out. He was facing the wrong way, and then it was shot wide of the net. A couple of great looks for the Canucks to take their first lead of the evening in the latter stages of this second period. Brandon Tanev, right wing at center for Seattle, dumps it into the Canucks zone. Guillaume Brisebois back to it in the corner, tied up by Yamamoto. Cole McWard got the puck loose, was knocked down by Bellemare, played it free to Pius Suter. Now Andrei Kuzmenko, hash marks in his own end, dropped it back to McWard. And then for Guillaume Brisebois, who passes left wing to center for Aatu Ratu off the bench, and he tips it deep into Seattle's zone. Decord out of the goal for Eli Tolvanen at his own blue line. Passes rink wide to Oliver Bjorkstrand in front of the Vancouver bench. Bjorkstrand tried to play it ahead. Besser knocked it down, and the Canucks will try to establish their forecheck deep in the Seattle zone again. Besser got it loose to the line for Wolanin. Now to the right point, Myers carries down to the hash marks. Back to Wolanin. Left circle, Ratu. Long shot got through on goal by Decord. Rebound opportunity for Höglander in the left circle. He whiffed on it, and the Kraken clear to center. Shane Wright, the former 4th overall pick, has it top of the left circle. Centering feed broken up. Wolanin gets it to the corner for Myers. He lifts it off the boards to center for Besser, who gains the Seattle zone, settling a rolling puck. Defers right wing for Arshdeep Bains. Chops it to the corner. Ratu after it. Lost it in a battle with Olofsson behind the net, but he gave it away to Besser, and the Canucks have it back. Besser tried a rink-wide pass intended for Hronek, tipped off a stick, and the Kraken have numbers back to center. Bjorkstrand across the Vancouver line. Right wing feed for Max McCormick. McCormick back to Olofsson, had the puck roll over his stick and out to center, and Cole Lind takes it at his own line. For Riker Evans, dumps it right wing, but it's offside against the Kraken to the Vancouver blue line with 2:51 left in the second, and the game tied at 1. Vancouver out shooting Seattle 14-4.
Yeah, they've done a much better job in this period of keeping the puck down in the Seattle end, not spending as much time in their own, and that's been a big part of the success, big part of the reason Canucks have been able to get a even or a leveling goal from Carson Soucy earlier.
Mad scramble at the Seattle goal moments ago nearly resulted in the second Vancouver goal of the game, but Joey Decord was able to hold the fort down, and now the Canucks win the face-off at their own line. Soucy behind the net, plays it to Filip Hronek. He'll take it behind his own goal and now start the breakout. Hronek, stretch pass left wing to the Seattle line for Max Sasson, winding into the slot, drops to Karlsson, left circle, Beauvillier wound and fired wide of the net. Held into the right point by Hronek. Nice play to get it free to Sasson. He'll carry back top of the point. Near side, Hronek centering feed to the front of the goal. Karlsson was there, couldn't direct it on net. Now Soucy shoots from the right circle, and that ends up over the glass and out of play. And we see some of the dynamic play that has been described as part of Filip Hronek's game, and he did a lot to create some of those opportunities in the Seattle zone on that last shift.
Yeah, there was a stretch pass from his own end, connecting the Canucks into the offensive zone. And, you know, they get the entry and make the extra pass going across the ice. Karlsson to Beauvillier. He gets a really good look at it, but isn't able to find it past Joey Decord. That's the kind of, you know, east-west passing you like to see that can create offensive opportunities and makes it really difficult on opposing goalies who have to move laterally to make the save.
Here's a chance for the Kraken, cutting in on goal. Studenic is robbed by DeSmith. Great save by the left pad. As Seattle forced the turnover of the Vancouver line, and Marian Studenic snuck in behind the defense. Well, it was denied by Casey DeSmith. Now Dakota Joshua breaks up a pass at center. Right wing for Studnicka across the Seattle line. He's pushed into the boards by Will Borgen. And that allows Cameron Hughes to gather and carry through the center ice circle. Hughes into the Vancouver zone. Clears it behind the net. Cole McWard with the puck. Plays it up the wall for Jack Studnicka. And now Niels Oman at center. Dumps it in. Cale Fleury behind his own goal for the Kraken with fewer than 90 seconds remaining in the second period. played it up the left wing. Shane Wright tipped it in. Casey DeSmith out of the goal, rims it around the glass. But Eli Tolvanen knocks it down and plays it back in deep. Tolvanen, who had 2 goals against the Canucks in the preseason game in Seattle, played down low to Bjorkstrand in front to right with a quick one-timer. DeSmith held it out, and Beauvillier's away to center on the left wing. Dumps it into the Seattle zone. Magna back to it. Pressured by Suter on the forecheck. Kuzmenko in there after it as well. Or rather, that's Beauvillier. Gets it free right wing side for Hronek to Kuzmenko, covering at the line. Long shot tipped in front. Nice deflection by Suter. And a better save by Decord with the right pad. Now Bjorkstrand gains the Vancouver line on the right wing, cutting to the goal. Was pushed off the puck by Wolanin. Now a board battle ensues on the half wall. Hronek trying to dig it free. 35 seconds left in the period. The game is tied at 1. Now Olofsson can't hold it at the blue line. Had to tie up Pius Suter, so he couldn't escape on an odd man opportunity. And Philip Hronek retreats to the puck behind his own net.
Seen the Canucks mix up the D pairs. The D by committee is in action here from the Canucks coaching staff. We have Philip Hronek out here with Christian Wolanin on this shift. The shift prior, it was Tyler Myers and Cole McWard together. So Adam Foote putting in work and mixing up his defensemen and going D by committee, which is going to be the name of the game for the Canucks coaching staff all season long.
Soucy will join Hronek here for the final 15 seconds of the second period. Face off just outside the Vancouver blue line. Is won by Pius Suter to Soucy. Now to Hronek. Pass to the Seattle blue line for Besser. Left wing Ratu, long shot. Glove down and played back into the corner by Decord. The Kraken will clear to center as we see the forward lines were blended on that shift too. And the period comes to an end. Canucks answer after the Podorowski first period goal. Carson Soucy bulges the twine, and the game is tied at 1 after 2.
Canucks should probably feel a little bit unlucky to not have a goal or 2 more. Pius Suter had a breakaway where he almost put one past Joey Decord. They had that great, another Pius Suter chance where he gets the tip in front of the net. They've done a really good job of starting to win some board battles and creating some offense out of that. We'll see if they can find a winner going into the final 20 minutes.
The goal by Soucy came at 9:42 of the second period. Time of the goal brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for over 50 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. The Canucks and Kraken are tied at 1 after 2 as we rejoin Satyar Shah and Bick Nazar for Canucks Central at the intermission. The penultimate period of the penultimate preseason game if we need overtime tonight as well.
That's right. My last statement may have been incorrect if we get to the extra frame.
Here's Oliver Bjorkstrand, right wing across the Vancouver line with a shot from a tight angle held out by Casey DeSmith, who hasn't been too busy in this game tonight. That's just the 7th shot that he's faced, and he's stopped 6 of them.
We see Susi and Hronek here together starting this period. It's been an interesting start for them the last couple of games. We started to see it, and it hasn't really worked as well as you would like it to going into the season, but they're trying to build that chemistry as new teammates.
Hronek off the face-off, lifts the puck down the ice on Chris Drieger, who has come into the Seattle goal in mop-up duty. So Joey Decord through 2 periods, made 11 saves and gave up 1 goal on 12 Vancouver shots.
The Seattle goaltending situation is definitely still something to watch. They didn't get the greatest of goaltending last year. Really, they haven't gotten it since becoming an expansion team. And even going back to their last game, a 4-1 loss to the Edmonton Oilers, Philip Grubauer gave up 3 goals on 16 shots. Not what you'd like to see from your starting netminder. It seems to be a continuation from what Seattle got last year.
Here's Kuzmenko, left wing to the Kraken blue line, pushed to the boards by Cale Fleury. Brandon Tanev in his own zone. Drops to Fleury, now to Yamamoto, right wing at center, and he dumps it in. Tyler Myers back to the puck, watched by Brandon Tanev. Myers is knocked down by Yamamoto. That's a size mismatch, and the Seattle forward came out ahead in that exchange, but the Canucks escape into the Kraken zone, and Besser dumps it behind the Kraken net. Fleury back forward in the corner, ahead for Yamamoto, rink-wide pass left wing to center for Brandon Tanev, banks it to the Vancouver line. Christian Wolanin leaves the puck for Tyler Myers, now ahead for Niels Höglander, winding through some traffic right wing, gains the attacking blue line. Passes rink-wide left circle for Besser, in front for Ratu, going to the net. He tipped it wide on the backhand. Recovers it right wing. Back to the line for McWard. Long shot stopped by Drieger. Rebound in front. Puck is loose. Kicked to the corner by Riker Evans. Good job getting traffic and bodies to the front of the goal as Höglander couldn't get his stick free with the puck fluttering in front of Drieger. Max McCormick at his own blue line for Seattle. Skates through the center ice circle. Passes right wing for Olofsson into the Vancouver zone. Back to McCormick driving the net. Couldn't take the pass. Now drops it back to the line. Riker Evans with a long shot. Blocked in front. Loose puck in the slot. Recovered by McCormick. He's chased down by Studnicka and dumps it behind the Vancouver goal. Kraken working the cycle. Podorowski to the line for Olofsson. Long shot wide of the net. Found by Evans right wing. Tried a centering pass. Cole Lind was in front, but couldn't direct it on target. And Dakota Joshua gets it out to center with the help of Guillaume Brisebois. Lost it to Olofsson. Delayed call coming up against the Canucks, so Drieger heads to the bench. Now this will be the second power play of the game for Seattle when Vancouver touches the puck. Just over 2.5 minutes gone, third period. Cross-checking is the signal. And they're still trying to figure out who this call is on. It's Guillaume Brisebois going on.
His second penalty of the night. He's taken all of the penalty minutes so far this evening. You know, the Canucks, they did not give up a power play goal in the previous penalty that Brisebois took, but the goal that Seattle scored came just as that penalty expired. It was a turnover from Filip Hronek in the defensive zone that gave Seattle the opportunity. We'll see how the Canucks fare this second penalty kill attempt.
Faceoff will come to the right of DeSmith in the Vancouver zone. Canuck penalty killers: Suter, Joshua, Susi, and Hronek. Scrambled faceoff. Ends up in front of the goal. Dakota Joshua finds it and just clears it past Riker Evans and out to center.
This is sort of where you look at Pius Suter as being a really interesting signing for the Vancouver Canucks. Not just a guy who plays on the second power play unit, but somebody who's going to play in all situations, even on the penalty kill for Vancouver.
Yamamoto to the Vancouver line. Right wing for Bjorkstrand. Dumps it behind the net. Hronek on the end boards. Rims it to the near half wall. Tolvanen knocked it down, but then lost it. Suter played it free. Susi cleared it down, and the Kraken have to regroup in their own end yet again. Just under 90 seconds left in the Seattle power play. 3:10 gone, third period. The Canucks and the Kraken are tied at 1. Kyler Yamamoto. Left wing to the Vancouver line for Eeli Tolvanen. He was tied up on the boards by Cole McWard. And Aatu pushes it back out over the blue line, then intercepts a pass and dumps it all the way down the ice.
It's been a really good game for Aatu. You've seen him find himself in some really good spots, do some good work on the forecheck in the offensive zone. But the thing that always stands out to me when watching Aatu is just his defensive awareness as a player.
Now Arshdeep Bains in on the forecheck, had the puck pinned against the boards and drew a penalty. Below the goal line in the offensive zone, Riker Evans goes off. And we'll play 4-on-4 for 54 seconds before the Canucks have a 1 minute and 6 second power play of their own.
Just a little bit of a hold there from Riker Evans. Didn't have to do a ton, but he held up Arshdeep Bains, who was hard in on the forecheck there just a little bit. The refs didn't like it. He's off, and the Canucks will eventually get their first power play of the game here. They'll have a minute and 6 seconds once Guillaume Brisebois' penalty is over.
A little bit more room on the ice right now at 4-on-4. Kraken win the draw in their own zone, and Shane Wright scampers to the Vancouver line on right wing and dumps it in. McWard back to the puck, threw it to the line, held in by Borgen. Now to Alexiak, his long-range wrister deflected off a stick, went over the mesh in the end zone, and was caught out of the air by a fan who receives a nice round of applause.
Can of corn coming up. Good catch out there in the stands here. In
Center
Abbotsford.
field in the end zone there in Abbotsford.
That's the one decision there that Cole McWard made. He just kind of blindly threw the puck out towards the blue line. Didn't really have a teammate there. Don't love to see that. Could have been a more dangerous chance created by the Seattle Kraken on that turnover from Cole McWard.
Canucks with possession in their own zone. 20 seconds away from their first power play of the hockey game. 1-all tie just past the 4-minute mark of the third period. Jamie Alexiak at his own line for Seattle. Passes up the right wing. Here's Cole Lind with a high shot. Fought off the shoulder by DeSmith, and it deflects out of play.
Canucks on the break out there. Carson Soucy had Pius Suter picking up steam as he was trying to get through the neutral zone, but just put it too far ahead of him, and it really made the play moot. Killed the play for the Vancouver Canucks, and that's the kind of thing that this team can't really afford. You want to be able to connect on those breakouts, create speed through the neutral zone. That's the thing, the consistency the Canucks are trying to create.
Face off to the left of DeSmith. 8 seconds left in the Brisebois minor. Kraken win the draw, and Brandon Tanev's going to carry it back into his own end before leaving for Jacob Megna to dump it back into the Vancouver zone. Canucks are now on the power play, their first of the night, for another minute.
Love something as much as Brandon Tanev loves killing penalties. Like, just what a smart play after winning the draw there, just to kill a few seconds, understanding that the Canucks were about to go on the power play. Just a smart play from Brandon Tanev.
Hronek, left wing to the Seattle line. Tried a no-look drop pass, gave it away to the aforementioned Brandon Tanev, who clears it all the way down the ice. And Casey DeSmith is out of the net to handle. Obviously, most of the members of the top power play unit not in the lineup tonight, but Besser and Kuzmenko are both on the ice, and they combined to go offside at the Seattle blue line. Pass from Besser to Kuzmenko on the right wing, and he drove into the zone ahead of the puck.
Yeah, it's always tough when you're working with a relatively new unit on the power play. It takes chemistry. It takes the best power play units sometimes years of working together to really develop what they want to and create the chances that they want to. So this is a difficult spot for guys like Bains.
Bains, Besser, Kuzmenko, Wolanin, and Hronek on the man advantage for the Canucks. Hughes, McCormick, Alexiak, and Borgen, the Seattle penalty killers. Besser forechecking left corner in the Kraken zone, comes up with the puck. Back to the line for Wolanin. Out to the right point, Hronek. Philip Hronek to Wolanin, left circle, one-timer for Besser. He fanned on it, it rolled wide of the net. And Alexiak gets it around the glass and down the ice. Just 5 seconds left in the Evans minor. Standing in the penalty box, he is released back onto the ice, and the Canucks go to 0 for 1 on the man advantage.
Besser does well to create that chance for himself. He wins the battle in the offensive zone. Puck eventually comes back around to him for the one-timer, but he just fanned on it.
Now Kuzmenko, left circle to the line for Brisebois. Long shot through traffic, kicked out by Drieger. And Brandon Tanev clears to center. But Brisebois right onto it. Left wing, back across the Seattle line, hit by Tanev. Try to drop past Studnicka, lost it in his skates, and Yamamoto tries to escape the zone. He's hit hard by Joshua. Good physical play from the Canuck forward. Now a stretch pass. Studnicka was trying to split the defense, and Jacob Megna was wise to that attempt. Physical play starting to ratchet up again here in the third period. Yamamoto, right wing across the Vancouver line, dumps it behind the net. Cole McWard back to it in the corner, turned it over to Belmar. He's got it behind his own goal, centering feed into the slot. Tolvanen couldn't direct it on target, and Megna keeps it alive at the line. Now to the right point, long shot whipped wide of the net by Fleury, found by Niels Oman in the near corner. Goes rink wide to the far side for Carson Soucy. He'll stretch it left wing to center. Dakota Joshua missed it, but icing's waved off, and Jacob Megna is back to it behind his own goal.
Kraken have a really interesting roster. You know, they're trying to upgrade some of their depth scoring, and Yamamoto has 3 goals here in the preseason.
Bjorkstrand with a shot off the right wing, kicked out by DeSmith off the right pad. Linus Karlsson gets it right wing at center and sends it deep into the Seattle zone. Arshdeep Baines on the forecheck. Bumped Olofsson in the corner. Karlsson in to get it to Sasson. Now into the slot for Hronek. Cuts to his backhand left circle. Back to the line. For Sasson, high slot. Left side Wolanin. Rink wide to Hronek, right circle. Canucks not on the power play, but whipping the puck around the zone. Wolanin. Drop pass for Sasson. Settles and shoots, and Drieger denied him. Found by Wolanin in the right corner. Now to Hronek at the point. Philip Hronek. Right circle Arshdeep Baines. Pushed back to the line by Shane Wright. Banks it down the left wing. Hronek settles it. Winds into the slot for Wolanin. Right point long. One-timer bounce wide of the goal. Rebound came side of the net. Sasson couldn't knock it down. Tolvanen gets it free, and here's a chance for a 3-on-2 for the Kraken. Bjorkstrand left wing to the Vancouver line. Winds into the high slot. Shoots. He missed the net over the blocker of Casey DeSmith. Big hit on the near boards. Linus Karlsson bumped Podorowski into the wall. Now Bjorkstrand with it right circle. Back to the line for Borgen. Tied up on the boards by Sasson. That'll be a Vancouver penalty. Kraken still with the puck. Alexiak left circle. Centering feed. Deflected to the far corner. And Alexiak gets it back at the blue line. Jamie Alexiak. Top of the point. Passes. Right circle. Centering feed. McCormick threw it to the left circle for Lind, who shot it off the outside of the goal. Canucks touch the puck. Holding is the decision. Sasson is the guilty party. And Seattle will go to the power play when we return. 8:20 gone in the third period. The Canucks and the Kraken are tied at 1. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on the new Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet Radio Network. .820 into the third period tonight in Abbotsford. The Canucks and the Kraken are tied at 1. And Seattle is just about to begin its third power play of the hockey game with Max Sasson in the box for holding. Kraken win the face-off of the Vancouver zone. Shane Wright leaves right point for Riker Evans. Down the boards for Wright. He was poke-checked by Carson Soucy. And Pius Suter is able to clear it the full length of the ice. Chris Drieger out of the goal. Drops it to Riker Evans behind the net for Seattle. Evans for Shane Wright. Winding to center. Into the Vancouver end. Left wing for Studenic to the goal. Held out by DeSmith. Rebound bounced high in the air, but is settled behind the net and cleared back down the ice a second time by Pius Suter. Now Riker Evans starting the breakout again. Just past the 9-minute mark, third period. Canucks and Kraken in a 1-all tie. Brisebois gets the puck at his own line, and the Canucks penalty kill continues to have a strong night. Now Studnicka with a long shot off the right wing, held out by Drieger, sliding back into his net after he'd come out to play the puck. And it's Riker Evans from behind his own goal again. Evans for Seattle to Kyler Yamamoto. Pass in his feet. He's got to settle it. Gains the red line. Right wing for Bjorkstrand. Into the Canucks zone. Winding into the slot. Passes left circle. It was behind Tolvanen, who recovers it on the boards. Now to the line for Cale Fleury. Again to Ellie Tolvanen. Through its side of the goal. Yamamoto in front. Great A chance for McCormick. Did DeSmith get a piece of that one?
I think it hit the posts. Canucks getting a little bit of luck from the iron there.
Now Filip Hronek will skate it out of the zone himself and chop it deep into the Seattle end with 25 seconds left in the power play for the Kraken. Great A chance for McCormick in the Vancouver zone. Goes by the wayside. Soucy back to it. Hit by Yamamoto. Puck squirts free to the corner. Ends up back at the point on the stick of Fleury. Try to pass across to Bjorkstrand. That was tipped. Good job by Suter to hassle Fleury. Out of the box comes Sasson. Canucks are 3 for 3 on the PK tonight. Carson Soucy in his own zone. 9.5 minutes left, third period. The game tied at 1. Soucy to center for Beauvillier. Tips it to the Seattle line. Cleared the other way by Olofsson for Belmar into the Vancouver end. Again, Soucy breaks up a play. And like a bowling ball, takes down 2 Kraken forwards.
Strong shift from Carson Soucy there towards the end of the penalty kill, really breaking up some momentum from the Seattle Kraken, really holding the blue line well there as well.
Now here's Kuzmenko, spinorama into the slot, backhand shot right on, and Drieger was there to deny it. With 9:02 remaining in the third, it remains Vancouver and Seattle knotted at a goal apiece on Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Own your home. Alpine Credits can get your loan approved. Alpine Credits homeowners get approved. Visit alpinecredits.ca. Brendan Batchelor and Dan Riccio with you. 9:02 left, third period. Tonight in Abbotsford, Canucks and Kraken in a 1-all tie. And another successful penalty kill featuring Pius Suter for the Canucks just a couple moments ago.
He's had a really strong game on the penalty kill. He's won some faceoffs, done well to clear up the defensive zone, win some loose pucks, get those clears on the PK. That's the kind of thing you want to see from a guy playing PK 1 minutes tonight.
Kraken control off the faceoff in their own end, and Brandon Tanev gets it to center. Carson Soucy at his own line ahead for Kuzmenko. Tipped it to Beauvillier into the Seattle zone. Tried a shot, blocked in front. It rolls wide of the net. Kuzmenko gets it down low. Beauvillier tried to cut out front, but was poked off the puck by Will Borgen. And he'll bank it right wing to center for Brandon Tanev into the Vancouver end. Tanev tied up by Soucy on the wall. Former teammates battling for the puck. Canucks come away with it at center. Beauvillier floats it ahead. Kuzmenko deflects it across the attacking blue line, but Will Borgen's back to the puck ahead for Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. They'll fire it up the left wing for John Hayden, who tips it into the Canuck end. Wolanin at his own line for Myers. Middle of the ice for Höglander with speed. Dumps it left corner. Ratu is after it. Threw it to the goal from a tough angle. Drieger holds it out at the post and gets the whistle. 8:10 left in the third. A 1-1 tie tonight at Abbotsford Center. Just one more preseason game for the Canucks coming up on Friday night against the Calgary Flames at Rogers Arena. A 7 o'clock puck drop. Make sure to join us right here on Sportsnet 650 and along the Sportsnet Radio Network. The pregame show gets underway at 6 on Friday, and then a week from tonight, it's the season opener against the Edmonton Oilers at Rogers Arena.
A home and home to kick off the season. It's the story that we've gone through all summer long, the story we've gone through at camp. We've asked players about, we've asked coach about, we've asked the general manager about. How do you get off to a better start? We're almost there for the Canucks on opening night next Wednesday.
Canucks win the draw. Myers with a shot from the point, blocked by Shane Wright, and Bjorkstrand gets it at center. Ahead for Eeli Tolvanen, try to pass back to Bjorkstrand. Partially broken up initially by Wolanin, but Bjorkstrand dumped it deep into the Vancouver end of the ice. Now Shane Wright, shot left circle, blocked in front, comes to Tolvanen right side, wound and fired wide of the net. Bjorkstrand mishandles it near side, Ratu tying him up. It squirts free to the right circle. For Fleury with a shot, big rebound, Tolvanen scores! Casey DeSmith made the initial save, but Eeli Tolvanen was wide open at the left circle. Hammers his third of the preseason against the Canucks into the back of the net. And Seattle leads again. It's 2-1 with 7:31 left in the third.
This line has just been consistently dangerous all night long against the Vancouver Canucks. Their speed, their connectivity has really caused the Canucks trouble. They create the turnover in the defensive zone, and it's a perfectly placed shot to DeSmith's blocker. He pushes it out into the slot, right onto the stick of Tolvanen, who smashes it home for his third of the preseason, and he leads the Kraken in scoring this preseason as well. What a waiver pickup he was for Ron Francis, GM of the Kraken last season.
All three of those goals against Vancouver as well, and the Canucks have to battle from behind for a second time in this hockey game. As Cole McWard controls at center. 12:29 of the third period, the time of the goal, brought to you by Crow, your trusted advisors for over 50 years. Learn more at crowmackay.ca. Philip Hronek back to it at his own blue line. Hronek, right wing to center, lifts it into the Seattle zone. Max Sasson on the forecheck, couldn't break up a pass, and Podorowski has it instead for the Kraken. Drops to Riker Evans, far side Olofsson. Now up the right wing, Studenich lifts it in behind the Canuck goal. Hronek back to it on the end boards to Soucy. Cleared to the blue line, but not out by Niels Oman. And Philip Hronek is back to it. Fires it around left wing to center for Dakota Joshua. Trying to pick up speed into the Seattle zone, tied up by Borgen. Puck rolls to the corner. Alexiak on the end boards. Gets his head up, lifts it out to center for John Hayden, upended by Cole McWard, and he'll retreat into his own end after the puck. McWard around to Joshua, bumped to the boards by Cameron Hughes. Brisebois gets it back, down low for Cole McWard. Passes right wing to center, Studnicka tips it in. With exactly 6 minutes left in the third period, Kraken up 2-1 on the Canucks. In this, the penultimate preseason game for both clubs.
Penultimate preseason game. There's only so many more times we're going to be able to use that term here tonight, Patch.
As the Kraken ice the puck, face-off will come back in the Seattle zone.
I will say, Philip Hronek, he's had an interesting night. He had the tough turnover there in the first period that led to the Kraken's first goal. But there's been moments, especially here in this third period, where he's just turned it up a level, and it created one of the best offensive zone shifts that the Canucks had here in this third period. And he just was clearly the best player on the ice. The vision, connecting plays with Carlson and Baines and Sasson, guys that are going to be on this Abbotsford team. It's just sometimes this player can really kick it up a notch, and you like to see that from one of the newly acquired Canucks.
Myers with a shot for the left circle off the faceoff. It deflects over the glass and out of play. 5:43 remaining in the third. The Kraken lead the Canucks 2-1. You're listening to Alpine Credits Canucks Hockey on the new Sportsnet app and along the Sportsnet Radio Network. Kraken lead the Canucks 2-1 tonight at Abbotsford Centre. Brendan Batchelor and Dan Riccio with you. Satyar Shah and Bick Nazar brought you the pregame show and the intermissions. They'll be back for the Canucks Central postgame show after the game. Fast Eddie Gregory producing the broadcast from Sportsnet 650 Control in Vancouver, doing a great job as always. Cam Barra is with us in the booth tonight at Abbotsford Centre. He is the executive producer of Canucks Hockey and our fearless leader. It takes a cast of thousands to bring you the action here along the Sportsnet Radio Network. Brandon Tanev to the Vancouver line, leaves left wing for Kyler Yamamoto. Dumped it to the end boards. Wolanin chops it around to the far side, found by Will Borgen. Borgen dumps it behind the net. Wolanin pins Tanev to the end boards. Battle continues. Myers lays a big hit in the corner. Puck is underneath Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, the fallen Kraken forward, and the Canucks are able to get it out to center.
Still, the most surprising moment of the night was when Kyler Yamamoto hit Tyler Myers and knocked him down.
Quite a size mismatch there. Yamamoto listed at 5'8", 153, which is probably a little out of date. I would assume he's heavier than that if he can knock over 6'8", 229-pound Tyler Myers.
It's like it was like Rocky Balboa against Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3.
Now here's Besser, right circle, centering pass. Ratu driving the net, couldn't direct it on target. Bouncing puck held in by Soucy nicely with his glove. Magna back to it in the corner, leaves behind the net for Cale Fleury. 4:25 left third period, Kraken lead 2-1. Fleury to the Vancouver line, dumps it to the end boards. Hronek behind his own net. Drops the puck off for Carson Soucy. Now to Brock Besser. Left wing at his own blue line. Rink wide for Philip Hronek. Couldn't settle the pass. Lost it to Bjorkstrand. He'll drop it back into his own end for Fleury and then for Olofsson going D to D. Olofsson up the left wing for McCormick. Chips it deep into the left wing corner, Vancouver zone. Brisebois rims it around out of the zone. And Cole Lind leaves it his own line for Riker Evans. Left side for Max McCormick. Deflects it in deep. Canucks need to possess the puck and try and transition, as they've continuously been clearing the puck out right to the Kraken, who are just content to dump it back in and kill time off the clock.
Can't get a clean zone entry yet. There's another dump in from the Canucks, and Linus Karlsson trying to get it, but the Kraken are just so clean on their retrievals that if the Canucks don't have a clean zone entry, it's going to be hard for them to really gain any clear offensive zone time.
Guillaume Brisebois in his own zone with the puck. Got it ahead, and now Beauvillier left wing at center. Fanned on his attempt to clear it in deep. Goes back to his own line for McWard. Across to Wolanin, right wing for Kuzmenko. Into the Seattle zone. Left circle, Beauvillier trying to shot, blocked by Evans. Puck is gathered by John Hayden, and he skates to center on right wing and dumps it in. Myers Back to it on the end wall. Got it free to Beauvillier, and now for Kuzmenko. Right wing to center, Wolanin up in the rush, shoveled it ahead. Suter couldn't settle it. Instead, it comes to Studenic for Seattle. Marian Studenic at his own line. Stretch pass right wing. Bad change for the Canucks. Here's John Hayden across the Vancouver line. He's content to take it to the corner rather than trying to attack the goal. Now the Canucks win a battle and get it free. Besser, left wing to center for Höglander. Dumps it into the Kraken zone. Jacob Begna back to the puck. Near side for Max McCormick. Pushed off the puck by Höglander. Now to the far circle. Hronek, one-timer. It's blocked. Rebound into the slot. Höglander fanned on it. It rolled over his stick. And Fleury gets it off the boards and out to center. 2:10 left in the third. Kraken up 2-1. We'll keep an eye on Casey DeSmith to see when he's summoned to the Vancouver bench.
Got a chance to see Filip Hronek load up that one-timer there. I don't think he got a hold of it as one Seattle Kraken player diving in front of it, putting their life on the line for this preseason game in front of a Filip Hronek clapper.
Casey DeSmith now heads to the Vancouver bench, so it'll be 6-on-5 for the Canucks with 1:45 left in the third, trailing Seattle 2-1. Belmar clears it up the boards. Kuzmenko into the fray. Digging away for the puck in the right wing corner with Riker Evans. Dakota Joshua in there too, watched by Pierre-Edouard Belmar. Got it free to the right point for Cole McWard. McWard, right circle. Studnicka, shot tipped in front, stopped by Drieger. Rebound loose in the crease. There's a scrum for it, and Evans was able to glove it to the corner. McWard, right wing side. Saucer pass to the line for Guillaume Brisebois. 1:15 left in the third. Studnicka from the right circle. Side of the goal. Oman tried to go backhand to forehand. Now Brisebois in the slot shoots, and it fluttered over the goal.
Band on it.
Oman back to McWard, again to Brisebois. Now to McWard, top of the point for Niels Oman, right circle. Side of the net, Joshua into the slot. Studnicka couldn't settle the pass, comes to Oman, back to the line. McWard missed it, but it's going to roll wide of the empty net back into the Vancouver end. And Brisebois hustles back to it. He's hit very hard into the end boards by Brandon Tanev, but got it out of the zone anyway. Canucks have possession in their own end with 40 seconds left in the third period, down 2-1 to the visiting Seattle Kraken. Brock Besser dumps it into the left wing corner. Beauvillier after Borgen on the forecheck. Puck is tied up. 30 seconds left now. Gets it around to the right wing for Hronek. Tried a shot. That was blocked and deflects into the mesh and out of play. 25.4 seconds left in the third period. Seattle 2, Vancouver 1, and the face-off in the Kraken zone. 6-on-5 for the Canucks with DeSmith on the bench.
Canucks had their opportunities to tie this game up. That was a great offensive zone shift. Couple of real good rebound chances in front of the net after a point shot. No Canuck able to get their stick on it. Kuzmenko was there, Joshua was there, but they fanned on it. Seattle escapes. Their 2-1 lead still intact.
Canucks take their timeout to try and draw up a play. Chris Drieger, since coming in at the start of the third period, has faced 7 shots and he's stopped them all. A couple of mad scrambles in and around his crease on that last sequence, so the Canucks will try to create 1 or 2 more of those in their search for an equalizer.
Yeah, you can see the Canucks trying to get some point shots, traffic in front of the net, get to the blue paint. We'll see who the 6 players are that come out here after the timeout. Beauvillier, Suter, Kuzmenko, Besser, Hronek, Dakota Joshua are the 5 out there right now.
And Pius Suter as well. Did you say him?
Yeah, and looks like that's going to be it for the Vancouver Canucks with their 6 players.
Hronek, Besser, Beauvillier, Suter, Joshua, and Kuzmenko. And now there is some conversation about where the face-off's going to be.
It was tipped. It's going to be a defensive zone face-off here.
They're bringing the draw all the way back into the Vancouver end. And so Casey DeSmith's going to have to go back into the goal.
I'm curious because the puck was deflected out off of Hronek, shooting it towards the Seattle Kraken goal. So I'm curious as to why this is coming all the way back into the Canucks defensive end.
Fans don't like it. Rick Tockett's having a long conversation with one of the officials about it as well.
Can we go to the VAR?
And now Linus Karlsson's been sent to the penalty box. So did the Canucks get a penalty out of this sequence?
I am extremely confused at exactly what is happening here for the Vancouver Canucks.
They are on a penalty kill. They've got 5 skaters on the ice right now, so there's a penalty that resulted from this. I'm not sure what, how, why, or when.
Unless there's an unsportsmanlike that came out of that from complaining about where the defensive zone draw would be.
So the Canucks win the draw, get it to center. DeSmith goes to the bench, but it'll only be 5-on-5. And it is a bench minor for unsportsmanlike conduct against the Canucks. Here's McCormick to the Vancouver line. Turn the puck over. Carson Soucy has it. Just 5 seconds left now. One last chance. Besser, left wing into the Seattle zone. Threw it in front. Kuzmenko chopped it wide of the net in the dying seconds. And that'll do it tonight in Abbotsford. The Seattle Kraken get the game-winning goal from Eli Tolvanen after the midway mark of the third period and defeat the Vancouver Canucks 2-1 in the Fraser Valley.
Well, after all that confusion at the end of the game, Canucks still got their one chance to tie it up in the final seconds. Seattle just switched off, allowed the Canucks to get an easy zone entry. Brock Besser has Kuzmenko streaking to the front of the net, but he doesn't get enough wood on it, and the Kraken walk away with a 2-1 victory over the Vancouver Canucks here in Abbotsford.
Just one preseason game left coming up on Friday night at Rogers Arena. It's the Canucks and the Flames, the final dress rehearsal for Rick Tockett's group. 6 o'clock pregame, 7 o'clock puck drop right here on your home of the Canucks. Sportsnet 650 and the Sportsnet Radio Network. Once again, the final score at Abbotsford Center. The Kraken 2 and the Canucks 1. For Dan Riccio, this is Brendan Batchelor in Abbotsford.